Destiny 2 Resonance-42 weapon review. This SMG I'd say is pretty average, but still I like it. It's on the highest rate of fire when it comes to SMGs, being 900 rounds per minute. Overall has a good accuracy if you're controlling the recoil, but hey, it's what I like, it's what I use, and I'd say this gameplay here with the Arc Strider of all subclasses is actually pretty good. Anyway, you have the adapted frame, which is basically showing off the actual, well, a good view of the stats, and, well, the fact that it's 900 rounds per minute, aka the fastest rate of fire on SMGs, has pretty low impact, a good range, stability, handling. It's pretty good. The reload speed is also decent, and, well, the magazine is big enough in order to do stuff without needing to have the appended mag, which ramps it up a little bit. Anyway, you have a choice of sights from the SLO21 post sight, the SPO57 front sight, or the SPO28 front sight. I used the very last one, mostly because it ramps up the range, even though it ramps up the range a little bit more than the first one, and it gives you a little bit more handling so I can run around like crazy. And also be a little bit better when I'm getting hit by a Mida. And then you have appended mag, which increases the magazine size and decreases a little bit of range just because of the fact that you are not using accurized rounds, which increases range. It does put the magazine back to its default being 44 instead of 34 instead of 37. And then you have under pressure. It improves stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower. And when it comes to this thing, the magazine goes out there pretty quick, especially since it has 900 rounds per minute. And yeah, I'd say this thing is very good close up. Okay in the medium. It's not that great because of recoil, but I'd say if you're using something like a build like the Punch Titan, aka Sentinel, with the gauntlets that give you extra lunge range and extra damage on melees, those gauntlets, and the Sentinel subclass, and the build of the Defender, or with the good old Ninja Hunter with the Path of the Trapper, like what I usually use, or in this gameplay, I'm actually using the Way of the Wind on the Arc Strider, and I'd say it's pretty good if you know what you're doing, and if you use a lot of your abilities. And also get it up in personal, instead of crouch behind cover with Mida. Anyway, any other weapons I've got here that I'm kind of using for this little build, I'm using the actual off-meta scout rifle here. I'm using the good old does not compute. It was actually in the beta. I didn't really like it in the beta, but I need something to change it up from the Mida. And also, I need to change it up from the usual hand cannon that I use, being Better Devils or True Prophecy. And also, I don't really want to use Nameless Midnight because that's like second tier when it comes to the scout rifles. Man, that's pretty good Arc Strider stuff here. Anyway, and also have the Resonance-42 or whatever SMG you want. But I'd say Resonance-42 is a pretty good one alongside with the mini tool, and maybe with some others like the Risk Runner. If you have it powered up, is pretty good, but if it's not powered up, you might as well throw it in the trash and keep it for PvE. And anyway, and as for the heavy weapon I have, I either go for a shotgun, fusion, grenade launcher, and nowadays I'll go for a sword. And sometimes I go Dubious Folly because I've seen way too many rocket launchers. Just explosions everywhere when somebody else gets heavy. So I want to change it up a little bit. Have a sword every now and then. Or, even though my sniping skills are very subpar, I'll throw that in there too. anyway, back to the SMG itself. It has pretty good mobility, awesome recoil pattern, but the thing is that as for controlling said pattern is kind of hard. But you will get used to it. Promise. I've been using this thing for some time now, trying to get this video up there. And any other thing that can go along with this build, with this close quarter SMG type thing going on, well, maybe go around with knucklehead radar, flow tracer, and well, if you're using a hand cannon, Lucky Pants may be better because it can swap to your hand cannon when needed a lot faster. Or something like the Makineer's Trickster sleeves. Or if you're just using something more towards a particular subclass, the Radiant Flux and Arc Strider, that is very good. And I'd say for PvE in this thing, like most of the SMGs with the high rate of fire, are not really good. I'd say they're more for shredding through shields in PvE, aka just look at a good old Centurion and just hold the trigger while hip firing, and that guy will go away. The only exception in PvE I'd say for the high rate of fire SMGs is the good old Risk Runner because of the chain lightning and the returning ammo and the better damage absorption from the good old arc. So yeah, this SMG is pretty average, but I'd say it's a good kind of average. It's not subpar, it's good enough for me to actually recommend it if you don't have anything else and you've got this thing from the gunsmith or some engram. Well, anyway, smack that like button, hit the sub, drop the comment. I'll see you guys later for another video on the channel. I'm out.